Yo, what's up guys, it's your main man Dark Orbit here, bringing you a survival guide. I'm going to be doing this every week, just to give you some little hints and tips on how to survive a zombie attack if it was ever to arise. I quite like the idea of a zombie attack. Just a little disclaimer that I got this book, the Zombie Survival Guide, really good book, you should go get it out. Most of the info is going to come off this book, but let's get straight into this. So, the basics. A zombie, okay, is not what you think it is. It's not going to be some super strength, overpowered mother from the underworld that can jump 50 meters, do whatever. Okay, it's going to be a human being with human being attributes that can is just basically surviving off a virus. We're going to call this the T virus, as most people here have watched Resident Evil. So the T virus is just the name that we're going to call it, is just going to affect people in the way that you see dumb zombies in movies, that they're not going to be able to function very well as human beings. They're going to be more like zombies in the old films and the other things like that. So a zombie sight, we'll get into the sight, so once you know what a zombie can do, you can prepare to attack or do whatever. I'll actually tell you what I'm going to do. I'll tell you the breakdown of what I'm going to do. So this first one, I'm going to tell you what a zombie is. Next week, this is going to be out every Monday, I'm going to do weapons and combat techniques. First of all, it's going to be general rules, then close combat, then slings and arrows, then firearms. I'm not the hugest expert on firearms because I'm from the UK, but that doesn't matter. Explosives, fire, other weapons like acid, poison, biological warfare. Never really thought about that. And then your armour, plate mail, chain mail, whatever, where it will run around like a knight if you want to. So yeah. Then we're going to do on the defence, if you want to make a defence, or being on the run, vehicles and equipment, terrain, alternate means of transport, general rules again, on the attack, so now that you've fortified up and you want to fight the zombies. Okay, so that's going to be covering most of the bases. Living in an undead world as well, so I'll be teaching you how to, I don't know, survive, do some traps and stuff. I'll put some pictures up if people start to like this. But yeah guys, so this first episode I'm going to give you a little quote from the beginning. This is from 1000 BC, so about 3000 years ago. Let's have a little find. Okay. He comes from the grave, his body a home of worms and filth. No life in his eyes, no warmth in his skin, no breathing of his breast. His soul as empty as the dark as the night sky. He laughs at the blade, he spits at the arrow, for they will not harm his flesh for eternity. He will walk the earth, smelling the sweet blood of the living, feasting upon the bones of the damned. Beware, for he is the living dead. So you can see, that was over 1,000 years ago, 3,000 years ago in Hindi. I think that's some like old Indian text. So zombie myths have been around for ages. I think these ones were slightly to do with like religion and things like that. So we'll get into a zombie's attributes. Okay, so a zombie is going to have pretty much the same kind of sight as us. Quite clear, and it's going to be pretty good at judging distance. They're not going to be terrible at seeing. The difference between them, they're not going to have any intelligence. That's what they're going to have. We have intelligence to see. They're just going to see something and go for it. Then they've got sound. Their hearing is going to be it's going to be as good as ours. They're going to hear stuff and move towards it. It doesn't really matter what it is. So if you throw a brick at a window, they're going to go towards that, like unlike these films where they suddenly all turn and attack the human. Smell. They will have an acute sense of smell due to the virus, to be honest. Because the virus is just going to affect their basic functions, and smelling, hearing, sight, they're going to be kept well. But us as humans, our smelling is not that good. But because of this virus, it will perk up their smelling, because then they'll be able to hear us and see us, and the smell of blood. They'll love the smell of blood, so you can trap them with that. Okay, so let's go in. the touch. Zombies will not be able to feel anything. You could tie up a zombie for test reasons only and poke it in the eye non-stop and it will not feel anything. To be honest, okay, then we'll go on to the sixth sense. Like you see in these movies, like zombies, like being like slightly kind of psychic powers, being able to move stuff, kind of going off the Resident Evil film. That's bollocks. Okay, if that's gonna happen, why can't we do that? Like, serious? Okay, that's all Hollywood bullshit. And healing, like some films you see zombies being able to regenerate and stuff like that. That's not going to happen. You chop off their arm, they're going to lose an arm, but they're not going to die because they don't need that arm. Okay, so that's the healing and sixth sense. That's bollocks. Okay, let's get into their strengths. So their strength as a zombie, their brute pushing force is going to be the same as us. So if you get a crowd of 100 zombies, they're going to be able to push down a fence, you know? A bit different, but they're going to have a lack of coordination when they're doing this. Like, if they're walking along, let's talk about their speed. Their walking speed is going to be slower than us, so you'll be able to outrun a zombie quite easily because they have a lack of coordination. Because the only reason we can walk as humans is because of our brain working properly. You see people who have these really bad disabilities where they can't walk properly. That's because something in their brain is not functioning right. Or a zombie is fucked. So they're not going to be able to walk for shit. Agility, they're not going to be able to do jumping over hurdles. Come on, it's a fucking zombie. Intelligence, they're not going to be very intelligent. They have no emotions, so don't cry about it. Say your mother turns into a zombie, shoot her in the fucking face. You know what I mean? Fucking hell, she's a zombie now. There's nothing left. Do it. They're not going to have any memories or anything like that. And to be honest, you know what I mean? Who wants a mother as a fucking zombie? So as a recap, zombies are going to be deadly in a crowd. They're going to have very good sight, very good hearing, and very good smelling. That may seem quite scary, but you can't get fucking scared, because the one thing they don't have is speed and intelligence. You're going to be able to fuck these guys up. I'm a big guy, but I'm going to be able to run away from these bastards, I'll tell you. So now let me tell you, now that you know what a zombie is, I'm going to tell you what kind of an outbreak and what you want to be preparing for in the rest of these episodes. Outbreak 1, that's going to be Class 1, that's going to be in a rural area between 1 and 20 zombies, and that's going to be lasting 24 hours. That's kind of where you want to batten down your hatches and things like that. Then you've got Class 2, that's going to be an urban area or a densely populated area. That could last up to a few days or so. That would be normally the army would turn up and bang them out within a while. The more people, the quicker the army are going to turn up. If there's only 20 odd zombies, they're not going to know for a little while. You got Class 3, that is a crisis, that's an outbreak. That is between hundreds of zombies. That's going to be over 700 miles radius or so. And then after that, I'll explain it in deeper beforehand. After that, we've got Class 4, and that is the whole world has gone to zombie. I will be telling you how to sort your shears out for this, but that's it. Next week we're going to be getting into your weapons, and you may be surprised by what weapons I recommend and things like that. So as I'm going to wrap this up, I'm going to leave you with the top 10 lessons for surviving a zombie attack. So number 1, you want to be organised. 2, feel no fear, because they don't. Use your head, cut theirs off. Cut them off. Blades don't need a reload, remember that, because it's not like Call of Duty where you got sleight of hand. I've never used a gun, so I'm guessing it's a bitch. Ideal protection, tight clothes, short hair. Get upstairs and then destroy the staircase. Number 6, get out of your car and onto your bike. It sounds like I'm giving you an insult, but that is actually very good information very early on. Keep moving, keep low, keep quiet, and keep alert. It's always good to be keeping alert. No place is safe, only safer. The zombie may be gone, but the threat lives on, okay? So, this has been Dark Orbit. I hope you like this. This has been my first podcast come information that's about 10 minutes long. Yeah, I give you guys permission to download this, so please do it. Much love and good night.